Hello, creeps. Welcome to another episode of The Mortuary. I'm your host, Morbid Tuna, and this is where we talk about horror films and related geekery. The Monkey. This is a film based on a story by Stephen King. Some Stephen King stories make good movies. Some Stephen King stories make great movies. This is neither one. The Monkey sucks, and I will now give you a few reasons why it sucks so badly that I ended up just sitting there laughing at it because it was so unintentionally funny by being so bad. The premise of The Monkey is simple. It's what I call a cursed object story. We've seen this before. The Monkey's Paw, Hellraiser, Annabelle, objects that are cursed in a sort of vague way or that are possessed more overtly by an angry ghost or a demon or some other malevolent intelligence. And they bring the owner horrible misfortune or good fortune at the horrible expense of somebody else. The Monkey is that kind of story. In this case, the cursed object is a monkey, not a living monkey, but a mechanical organ grinder monkey that plays a little drum when you turn the key in its back. The monkey itself is the only good thing I can think of to say about this movie. It is suitably creepy looking. It is very accurate to the mechanical wind-up organ grinder monkeys that I've seen before, either with the little drum that they play or more often with the little cymbals that they clap with. It's very sinister looking. When you activate it, one of the things it does is it grins at you. So right away, you know that this thing is bad news. But there my praise ends. The story, as I said, is not original. And you can do a recycled story, you just have to do something new with it. The closest they came to doing anything new with this is having some really over-the-top death scenes. This, by the way, if you actually want to see this movie, I mean, go ahead, I'm not going to stop you, but you might want to stop the video now because I'm just going to talk about it and spoil it because I'm not going to recommend anybody waste their time or money on it. The writing is not good. It's corny, and not a fun kind of corny either. Horror films have a bit of a reputation for just naturally being campy and over the top. That was a reputation earned a long time ago. Having said that, you can make a horror film that is campy, but still fun. This one is not. It is crafted in a very clumsy sort of a way. Comedy and horror can be knit successfully together. Even some of the grimmest, darkest, most hopeless horror films have the odd bit of levity. Maybe a character that's comic relief, or a scene that provides a bit of comic relief because some dark joke happens or something. And then there are the films that kind of blend the comedy and the horror all the way through. Evil Dead 2 would be the gold standard for horror comedy. Now, horror comedy isn't everybody's thing. It's not really my thing, but I can appreciate at least when it's done well. But it is not done well with The Monkey. None of the jokes land. They just come off as awkward, ill-timed, and timing is everything when it comes to comedy, especially when you're trying to use it to lighten a very dark, scary atmosphere. The jokes in The Monkey just don't land at all. I suppose partly because of the way they're written. The delivery also not good because there isn't one actor in this movie whose performance I was impressed by. Which brings me also to another trope, which has been done successfully, but was not this time, and that is having an actor play their own twin. We've seen that in many genres of film, not just in horror, but in comedy and in drama. But horror has a fairly healthy representation in that actor playing their own twin area. Raising Cain would be a fairly good example with John Lithgow. The Monkey, though, no. It does not work. The child version of these twins, they're passable, but the adult versions of them are just, you gotta blame the writing too, because the greatest actor on earth can only do so much with a crummy script. But in this case, you've got a crummy script with crummy actors speaking the lines. so it falls hard, very hard. Basically, I see what they were trying to do with this film. They were trying to knit like a monkey's paw cursed object story with a Final Destination aesthetic to it, where when the monkey's curse activates, somebody dies in some crazy way, some ridiculous accident. The first couple, it's kind of neat. It's like, oh, okay. No one's going to believe you. It looks like an accident. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Except the kills get sillier as the film progresses, to the point where I just out loud in the middle of the cinema said, oh, come on. They look like Final Destination kills that would have just been edited out of the end product because they were just too stupid or just didn't look believable enough. To give you an example of a just plain stupid kill, there's a part where a woman dives into a swimming pool just at the moment that a live wire becomes submerged at the other end of the pool. The wire enters the pool, the woman dives, and the moment she touches the surface of the water, she explodes. She just explodes all over the place, body parts flying everywhere. And I was just like, oh, what am I watching here? And that's just typical of the whole film. It starts somewhat promisingly. The young boys discover the cursed monkey amongst their dad's possessions with a little note that says, turn the key and see what happens. And we're all thinking, oh, we know something crazy is going to happen. So they turn the key and someone dies. That's the thing. That's the way this curse works. You turn the key, you wind the monkey up, it plays its drum, and when it's done playing its drum, somebody's going to die. You never know who, except they determine it's never the person who turns the key. It's always someone else. So one of these two twins I was talking about decides that the way to be safe from the monkey is to just keep turning the crank so that he will never die. Someone else will, hopefully someone he doesn't know, but to preserve his own life, which by the rules of the curse would work. But here's a crazy idea. How about you just don't touch the key? Hot glue the key so it doesn't move or something. Like, really? This is one of the reasons that the Jaws sequels were so stupid. Because once you know that there's a shark out there intent on murdering people, stay out of the water. You're safe. You're good. Same with this. Don't turn the key. No one has to die. Glue the key in place so nobody can mess with it, because they do try to get rid of the monkey. They try throwing it away. They try physically destroying it. It always comes back to them somehow. So the next best thing to do, I would think, is just guard it, deactivate it so it can't work, but they just keep turning the keys. What are you doing? It was just dumb. I think I've pretty much made my point. The monkey. Terrible, awful, don't waste your time. So this one is getting 1 dead tuna out of 5, and the only reason it's even getting that one is because the monkey itself is pretty cool. Everything else about this movie is crap, so don't bother with the monkey. Well, everybody, that does it for another episode of The Mortuary with Morbid Tuna. Thank you so much for stopping by, and remember, if you like my videos, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and tell all your friends, tell all your horror-loving friends to come on by The Mortuary and listen to this weirdo talk about horror movies and related stuff ad nauseam. So stay tuned for my next review coming at you in a couple of weeks, right here on The Mortuary. I am your host, Morbid Tuna, saying, slash you later.